Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking Commute Cost Calculator versus TfL, which tool reveals what your journey to work really costs you today, and tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like Commute Cost Calculator, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
All right, so Assad, I have to confess something. I've been commuting into London for, 8 years now? And I genuinely have no idea what it actually costs me beyond my monthly travel card.
Right, you're not alone. Honestly, Angela, most of us are exactly the same. We tap in, tap out, check our Oyster balance occasionally, and think that's it, right?
Right, exactly.
But here's the thing, and this is kind of wild when you actually sit down and work it out. Most UK commuters are underestimating their actual commute costs by, 150 to 250 pounds per month.
Wait, per month?
Per month. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so how? Where is all this extra money going that we're not seeing?
So it's layers, you know? The TfL fare is just one piece. But then okay, if you drive to the station, there's obviously petrol, but also parking, which at some stations is like $8 to $12 a day,
Oh, parking. I forgot about parking.
right? And then there's the wear on your car. The RAC says it's about 12 to 15 pence per mile just in mechanical wear, not even counting fuel. Insurance, a portion to work mileage. But even if you don't drive,
Yeah?
even public transport users have hidden costs. The coffee you grab every morning because you left the house at stupid o'clock, the taxi home when you missed the last train, which, let's be honest, happens more than we like. Or, and this is a big one for parents,
Childcare.
exactly, the childcare that runs over because your train was delayed. Again, none of that shows up when you check TfL's website, does it?
No, it really doesn't. Actually, you know what? This reminds me. My neighbor was telling me about this. She thought her commute was costing her about 200 quid a month.
Let me guess, it was way more?
Way more. But I can't remember the exact. Actually, you mentioned someone from Croydon earlier?
Oh yeah, Marcus, perfect example. He assumed his commute was around 200 pounds based on his travel card, right? But when he actually sat down, and I mean properly sat down with a calculator, added his parking at the local station, the occasional taxi when trains were canceled, those extra childcare hours twice a week, his actual monthly spend, 380.
So that's
$180 difference every month.
every month. That's 2,160 pounds a year he hadn't accounted for. That's a holiday. That's several holidays.
It is. And here's the kicker. Once he knew that number, he used it to negotiate a salary adjustment when he changed jobs. Because suddenly he could say, look, this commute is actually costing me X amount more than I thought.
That's actually really smart. Okay, but hang on. Before we completely trash TfL's tools, they're not useless, are they? I use the Journey Planner all the time.
Oh, no. They're excellent for what they do. Within their scope, I mean. The Journey Planner, the Fare Calculator at tfl.gov.uk for real-time, up-to-date fare information for the tube, overground buses, all that, they're genuinely the gold standard.
Yeah, they're really good for peak versus off-peak pricing, daily caps.
Exactly. And actually, pro tip here, if you commute regularly, always check TfL's calculator before buying an annual travel card. Because sometimes, and this surprises people, pay-as-you-go with daily caps can work out cheaper, especially if you work from home even one day a week.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, that's actually really useful. But so where do they fall short then?
Well, okay, first problem, scope. TfL only covers TfL services, right? So if you're coming in from Surrey or Kent on a national rail service that's not under TfL's umbrella,
Which loads of people do.
loads of people, yeah, then TfL's calculator gives you nothing. Or worse, it gives you a partial answer that you might think is complete. And then second problem, and this is the big one, TfL tells you what your fare is. It doesn't tell you what your commute costs. Those are two completely different things, you know? Like if you drive to a station and then take the tube, TfL will tell you the tube fare perfectly, but it won't mention your parking costs, your fuel, your car depreciation.
Depreciation. God, I always forget about depreciation.
Everyone does, but it's huge. Every mile you drive to work is literally reducing your car's resale value. The AA says the average cost of running a medium petrol car when you include everything is well above 40 pence per mile.
40 pence per mile? That's wow.
And then there's congestion charges, ULEZ charges. If you drive into central London, that could be £15 for congestion, another $12.50 for ULEZ depending on your vehicle. TfL's tools they don't even acknowledge these exist.
Right, so that's where a proper commute cost calculator comes in? One that actually factors in all this stuff?
Exactly. A dedicated calculator starts with your actual commute, not a fare table, and works through every cost systematically. You tell it, I drive this far, I park here, I take this train, whatever, and it builds up the real picture.
And it includes time value too, right? Because that's something I've been thinking about lately. Like, my commute is 90 minutes each way, and that's 3 hours of my day.
Yeah, and some calculators let you put a value on that time. Even at just $10 an hour, which is pretty conservative, that's $30 a day. Over a working year of 230 days, that's 6,900.
6,900 of my time. When you put it like that,
It's kind of depressing, isn't it?
it really is. Okay, give me a concrete example. Paint me a picture of someone's actual commute costs.
All right, so Sarah from Bromley works in Canary Wharf, pretty typical commute. Drives to Bromley South, parks, takes National Rail to London Bridge, then the Jubilee line to Canary Wharf.
Classic London commute.
Right, so TfL will tell her about the Jubilee line fare, maybe some info about the National Rail if it's within their ticketing. But parking at Bromley South? That's $7.50 a day. TfL says nothing. Fuel to get to the station? Nothing. Car wear? Nothing.
So what's her actual total then?
Okay, so public transport, about $180 a month. Parking adds another $165. Fuel, let's say $35. Vehicle wear and maintenance, another $20. So her real monthly cost is $400, not the $180 that TfL would suggest.
More than double.
More than double. And here's where it gets interesting. Sarah got offered a job closer to home, but with a $3,000 lower salary. Initially, she was like, no way, I'm not taking a pay cut.
Right, of course.
But then she ran the numbers. Her commute costs would drop from $400 to $80 per month. That's a significant monthly saving, which, even accounting for the $3,000 lower salary, meant she'd actually be $840 better off each year. Plus, she'd get back nearly 2 hours of her day.
That's actually mind-blowing. God, I need to do this calculation for myself.
You really do. Everyone does. It takes like, 10 or 15 minutes, and the number you get back can literally change how you think about your job, where you live.
But some people might think, this is too complicated, or it's going to make me feel terrible about my choices.
Yeah, I get that. But look, it's not about making you feel bad. It's about having the information, you know? You can't make good decisions without accurate data. And honestly, a good calculator does all the heavy lifting. You just plug in your details.
Fair enough, and I suppose knowing is better than not knowing, even if the number is scary.
Exactly. Knowledge is power and all that. Plus, you might be pleasantly surprised. Some people find out they're actually doing better than they thought.
Okay, so final question then. Should we use TfL's tools or a commute calculator, or is it not an either-or situation?
Oh, it's definitely not either or. They answer different questions, right? Use TfL for precise, current fare information within their network. It's free, it's accurate, it's authoritative for that specific thing.
For the ticket price.
For the ticket price, exactly. But then use a dedicated commute cost calculator for the full picture. When you're making actual decisions about jobs, about moving house, about whether to buy a car or sell one, that's when you need the complete cost.
Right. So it's TfL for how much is my fare today, and a calculator for should I take this job or can I afford to move further out?
Perfect. That's exactly it. And neither requires any credit checks or sign-ups or anything like that. You can run as many scenarios as you want. What if I worked from home 2 days a week? What if I moved closer? What if I ditched the car?
Oh, that's smart. Model different scenarios.
Yeah, it's actually quite, well, I won't say fun, but it's interesting to see how the numbers change. Sometimes a small adjustment, like working from home one extra day, can save you hundreds of pounds a month.
All right, so to wrap this up for everyone listening, check TfL for your exact fare, yes, but don't stop there. Get yourself a proper commute cost calculator, factor in everything, parking, fuel, car wear, even your time, and see what that journey is really costing you. Because it's probably, well, it's probably more than you think.
It probably is, but once you know, you can actually do something about it. Negotiate that salary, make that move, change that job, whatever makes sense for you. Just don't make those decisions blind, you know?
Don't make them blind. I like that. Assad, this has been genuinely eye-opening. I'm literally going to go calculate my commute costs right after this.
Do it, and prepare to be shocked, or maybe pleasantly surprised. But either way, you'll know.
Either way, I'll know. Thanks, Assad.
Anytime, Angela.
Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost saver blogs, especially free ways to slash your energy bills this winter, home insulation and its return on investment, and weather predictions can help you cut your energy bills.
Exactly. And reading those together gives you a fuller picture of safety, energy costs, and long-term affordability before you choose a postcode.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like Commute Cost Calculator right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include TfL Fares Information, Transport for London, and AA Motoring Cost Guide, the AA, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this cost saver conversation with Angela and Assad. If this helped, share it with someone house hunting so they make safer and smarter money decisions.
Your next step is simple. Try Commute Cost Calculator, then read free ways to slash your energy bills this winter and use both together before committing to a move.